All right, everybody. So you had to start out here with the math antics exercise video calculating percent change, and you'll see the video in Canvas to complete this sheet. All right, so if I go over here to Canvas, it's going to be this one right here that says calculating percent change help video. So that's going to help you complete the exercise sheets. It's going to go step by step, make it real easy. And now you're over here to starting with 100 is easy, the first worksheet that we'll be doing here. Don't worry if your worksheets are out of order. All right, you're going to start with this one that says starting with 100 is easy. That's the first one of percent change. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, reading the directions, it says, for each problem, calculate the difference, all right, keyword difference, between the original amount and the new amount. Then express the change as a percent change. Remember, it's easy when you start with 100, and here's why. Well, let's say we have a pair of shoes, and they originally cost $100. But after 1 year, they start to become more rare, more valuable. And so the cost of those shoes goes up to $105. Well, what's the difference? If we went from $100 to $105, what is the cost difference? Well, we could do 105 minus 100, or simply just say, what do I have to add to 100 to get to 105? And I'd have to add 5. So I have my I have my change as plus 5. And now to figure out the percent change, we are going to need to just take this number and write it with the percent sign afterwards. All right. And so here, looking at problem 2, start at 100. We go to 90. So we subtract 10 here, minus 10. And so my change is going to be minus 10. Just like for problem 3, I'm going from 100 to 132. So it's going to be plus 32. And all you're seeing here is that if you do the difference between the two, positive 32 here, then it's a 32% increase. All right. So that's really important here. Notice, since we're going up from 100 to 105, it's going to be an increase. Since we're going down from 100 to 90, it's going to be a decrease. All right. So whether it's negative or positive tells you if it's going to be an increase or decrease. Of course, positive numbers is going to be an increase. Decrease is going to be negative numbers. So then on this final one here, if it's going to be positive 32, because we're going from 100 to 132, it's going to be positive 32% increase. All right. You're going to finish the rest of these problems here for this worksheet, and then you're going to work on the percent change formula. All right, so we learned watching the video, going through the exercise sheet, that it's going to be the change divided by the original cost. And then you're going to multiply that by 100. Okay, so let's go ahead and circle the change here. If we start at $20 and then we add $5 to something, so it's going to be our change of $5 here up on top. We have our original cost of $20, and then we have that 100 that we're multiplying by. All right. Now notice when we do what is said to here, $5 divided by 20, right? Because that's what 5 over 20 is. 5 divided by 20. That's going to give us 0.25. Now that's our decimal form. And we don't want it as a decimal form. We want it as a percentage. So we need to, of course, multiply by 100. All right. And then that tells us that it's going to be a 25% and then increase because we're going up 5. All right. It's the change of positive 5. So let's go ahead and do the second problem here. It says the original is $10. So remember, where does my original go? It goes on the bottom here. So I'm going to highlight that in yellow, and I know it needs to go on the bottom of my fraction here. And then my change is minus 4, and I'm going to again circle that in purple just like I did earlier. And that goes on the top here. So I got negative 4 over my original of $10 and then I need to multiply by 100. And that's going to give me my percent increase or decrease. All right, so let's go ahead and do -4 divided by 10. Well, that's going to be 4/10 or 0.4. And since we started with a negative number, it's going to be a negative 0.40. And then I have to still multiply it by 100 here to convert it to a percentage. And so when I multiply by 100, that's going to move that decimal place over 2 spots. And my answer would be 40%. Oh, here's the key here. I have -4 on top. It's going down from 10. So it's going to be 40% decrease. All right, we'll do one more together since you guys are sticking with me here. Okay, so again, I'm gonna highlight my original and 80. I know it needs to go on the bottom. And then I'm gonna circle my change, which has to go on top here. So I'm gonna have +12. I might even write the plus here just so I know it's not negative. And then I'm gonna write my 80 on the bottom. I need to divide 12 by 80 now, and then multiply by 100. So see, 12 divided by 80. I need my calculator here, so I'm going to grab my calculator. And you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing +12 divided by 80 equals, and it gives me 0.15. Now I need to still multiply it by that 100 yet. And that's going to give me, move it over 2 spots, 15%. And notice it's positive. All right, I'm going up from 80, what would be 292. So it's going to be a 15% increase. Make sure I include that increase below. All right, so you're going to go ahead and finish the rest of that worksheet here. And here's the percent change formula part 2. So notice it told us the change here. It told us the change is -2 or -50. Now we need to calculate the change. But I promise you, it's not that difficult, and it actually makes more sense when we look at it this way. So it says when you have to calculate the absolute change yourself, which means the difference between your new and your original, the formula for percent change gets a little more complicated, but I promise it really doesn't. All right, so you're still looking at your change here. All right, your change is going to be circled here in purple. Okay, so my change is going to be represented by the difference between 30 and 22. So when you see them subtracting here, 22 minus 30, it's just them finding the difference between 30 and 22. So you could look at this and go, okay, what do I go down by? What do I have to go down by to get from 30 to 22? And here I go down by -8, okay? So if you don't even want to have to write that 22 minus 30, you can just write that I go down by 8 when I start with 30 and go down to 22. Okay, maybe I had 30 candy bars. I ate 8 of them, and now I'm at 22. So it would be -8 would represent my change, negative. And so I put that over my original, which again I'm going to highlight here. And then when I do -8 divided by 30, it gives me -0.267. Now I need to convert that to a percentage, so I multiply by 100, and it gives me 26.7%. And since it's going down from 30 to 22, it's going down, that's going to be a decrease. Now, if it were going up from like 30 to 38, then it'd be a 26.7 increase, but it's going down here. All right, let's go ahead and do the next problem. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my original, so that way I don't forget where it is in my equation. And then I'm going to circle my change here. All right, so I'm going from +10 to 18. So let's say I have $10, and now I have $18. Well, I just added +$8. Okay, so my change is going to be 8 up top here, positive 8. And that's going to be over my original of 10. And now I need to multiply that by 100. All right? Actually get rid of this here. So when I do positive 8 divided by 10, that's going to give me 0.8. And now I need to multiply it by my 100 still. Okay, still have to multiply by my 100. And that's going to give me 80%. And is this an increase or a decrease? Well, again, I'm going up from 10 to 18, so that's going to be 80% increase. All right? What you could go ahead and do before you even do any of these problems here is think about, am I going down or am I going up? Here I'm going down, so it's a decrease. What is the decrease of? Well, let's go from 80 to 60. It's going to be a 20 decrease. So it's going to be negative 20 to represent it. That's my change. And then here, if I'm going from 64 to 14, again, that's a decrease. The difference between those two numbers is 50. I'm going down 50. If I start with $64 and I go down to 14, my change would be negative 50. That's how much I lost. And then I'm always going to highlight my original and know that I'm going to divide by my original in each of these equations. So I write it with my change over my original, my change over my original, and then the only final step is multiplying by 100 after I divide my change by my OG, my original. All right? And then these over here, same thing, but now instead of going down, I'm going up from 5 to 18. Think about how much I'm going up by. That's going to be my change. All right? And then here it's the same deal, except now we're working with word problems. And this is going to be your only word problems sheet here, okay? So you're going to use the percent change formula, which again I'm going to write out over here. It's going to be my change divided by my original number multiplied by 100 to get it into a percentage. So let's go ahead and do this first problem. It says an old light bulb uses 60 watts of power. An old light bulb, that's the key here. So that tells me that is my original. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight 60 watts, highlight original, because I know 60 is going to now go on the bottom. Let's go ahead and do it here. 60 on the bottom for my original. But a new LED bulb uses only 9 watts. Oh my goodness, that's quite a change. So I'm going from 60 watts over to only 9 watts. Okay, so we're not going to be doing 60 minus 9 because that's not going to be the difference between 60 and 9, right? Excuse me, yeah, we need to do that. We need to do 60 minus 9. I was thinking about something else here. So that's going to be a difference of 51. And is that going to be positive or negative 51? That's going to be negative, right? Because we're going down from 60 to 9. So I have my difference of negative 51. That's my change. And now I need to do that final step of dividing, then multiplying by 100. So 51 divided by, or negative 51 divided by 60 equals negative 0.85. And now we need to multiply that by 100. So it's going to be negative 85%. All right? So that's going to be my first problem. Negative 85%. That's going to be my percent change. Let's go ahead and do one more. So here it says Rob did 15 push-ups on Monday, but on Tuesday he did 3 more on Monday. Okay, well that's really cool. Our change is right there for us. It tells us that our change is 3 more. So we can go ahead and write positive 3 on top for our change. And then below that, we're going to need to write our original and our original was 15 here. So I'm going to put it 3 over 15. And when I do 3 divided by 15, that's like doing 1 divided by 5. And so that gives me 0.2. And now I want it as a percentage, so I need to move that decimal point over 2 spots, or multiply by 100, you might say. And that's going to give me, if I rewrite this with a decimal over there, 20%. All right. And is this going to be a positive or increase, or is this going to be a decrease? Well, I'm going up from 15 to now 18, right? I'm going up 3 more. So it's going to be a 20% increase. If I did 3 less, then it'd be a 20% decrease. All right. So again, what helps me out here is highlighting the original. So if a dog weighs 82 pounds at the vet's office, but then weighs 46 the next time, I'm going to highlight 42 and understand that 42 goes on the bottom of my fraction. If a hat you want to buy is on sale for 16, but the original price was 25. Again, 25 is my original, so it's going to need to go on the bottom here. All right, you always want to have your original on the bottom, and then your difference between the two numbers on top. So what's the difference between 42 and 46? What's the difference between 25 and 16? And is my price going up for an increase from the original, or is it going down? Is it a decrease in price from the original? And you can do that by subtracting these two numbers. You could do 46 minus 42. You could do 25 minus 16. But you still have to think about, is my price going up? Is my price going down? To see if it's going to be positive 4 or negative 4, for example, here. Which one? All right, so hopefully this video helps. After you complete those 3 worksheets, then you're going to get to do a fun activity for the day. Please let me know if you have any questions, but these are your 3 worksheets: the percent change word problem set 1, the percent change formula part 2, and the percent change formula part 1. And then starting with 100 is easy. Okay, so actually that would be 4 worksheets and then an exercise sheet to go along with it, which again, the help video is located in Canvas. Thank you so much.